Hey guys, it's me again. July 25th, 2020, up here at Hilltop 91, and we're going to kind of talk about some of the stuff that we've got to experience up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Chuck talk about most of it. And I will jump in as necessary, but you'll get to hear it all from somebody else other than myself. And so, no further ado, there's Wayne. It's all you, Chuck.
Hello there, everybody out in YouTube land. Well, we've been up here 3 nights so far. Tonight will be the 4th night. We're going home in the morning. It's been pretty productive. We had quite a bit of activity the first night. The second night was absolutely amazing. Across the way over here, we actually had a sighting. Kevin and I both saw it. And when we saw it, I called out to it. I said, "I can see you. What's your name?" And she came back with MindSpeak and told us her name.
Yeah, and I thought I misunderstood what was said at first, and I asked, "Is that what it was?" And what I got was, at first I thought it was ring, but it's Rien.
Yeah, originally Kevin thought she said wren, like the bird wren, but then she actually came back and corrected him and said her name was Rien. But she said it really fast, and so it sounded like one word. But then I asked her, I said, are you male or female? And before I could even get the total question out, she answered back female. And so we did a recreation the next day, and she's probably about, I'm 6 foot tall, she's probably about 1 foot taller than me, and fairly thin build, so she's probably a young one. And but we both saw her pretty plainly, measured it out, 120 feet, and that was pretty spectacular. The other thing that happened that night was we were sitting just a little bit, about 10 feet from where we're standing right now.
Yeah, we're
right by that stump that you can see.
Yeah, I was sitting right here, and Chuck was sitting right here.
And while we were sitting there, all of a sudden we saw a distortion. I saw a distortion over next to Kevin. And we see the distorted images quite commonly. It's when our forest friends come and visit us, and they're what we call a cloaked method. They have you can see through them, but it's like a distortion. It's like a fog or something. And a churning fog, I guess is a way to describe it. And I saw that next to Kevin, and I pointed it out. I asked him if he could see it. And the next thing, I could see one directly in front of me. And so I thought there was 2 of them there. Kevin stood up and looked, and this thing just moved completely around us. And we were actually in the middle of it. And it was probably 10 to 12 foot in diameter and about 4 foot off the ground. And every place we looked, all you could see was this massive churning distortion, and that's the only way I can describe it.
It was insane.
I could even hold out my hand, and I could see the distortion between my eyes and my hand. My fingers are doing this, and it was pretty bizarre, and it lasted for what, 10 or 15 minutes probably.
Yeah, at least.
And it was real bizarre. I've never had that happen before. There was no feeling to it. There was no energy to it. There was no smell, no taste, no nothing. But it was around us both, and it was around us both for quite a while. Have no idea. At the time, we asked them about it, and they gave Kevin MindSpeak, and they said a gift. So we're not sure what that meant, but it was pretty darn spectacular. And both of us, after it was over with, we just looked at each other and said, "What the heck was going on?" It was pretty impressive. But other than that, we've both been zapped a number of times. We've both felt a little bit of MindSpeak. We've seen a variety of twinkle lights. It's been a pretty productive trip so far. Now last night it rained, and so it's kind of hard to go squatching when it's raining. But finally, when it settled down, we came out, and we only were here for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, Wayne had come up by that time. And all of a sudden, Wayne got MindSpeak that said, "Go to bed." And right after that, then Kevin got extreme. He got zapped really hard.
Well. Let me back that up a little bit.
Exactly.
Sorry.
You can hold it and you can both be in it.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks, Wayne. My pal. Wait, social distance.
Social distance.
But no, I had Wayne and Chuck were still sitting underneath the canopy of Chuck's van, and I had moved out here, and I was sitting out here by myself, and I'd only been out here a minute or two, and I got hit with a massive zap. I mean, what I call a power zap. And right after that, I got pinned into my chair and I couldn't move. And, you know, so I started talking to him, you know, thinking it might have been Indy. And, you know, and that's all that had happened. And, you know, and then it was after that, you know, about 15 minutes after that, I was getting ready to say, I'm drained and I need to go to bed, when Wayne said that he got the mind speak that, you know, basically bedtime. You know, those power zaps like that, after about 15, 20 minutes, it sucks all the energy out of me. And, you know, I was sitting there starting to nod, and yeah, it was definitely bedtime, you know, and that was like 10 minutes to 9 when we called it a night last night. So
I sat out after they left and went to bed, I sat out for about another 10 or 15 minutes, and then I decided it was time for me to go to bed. So we really didn't have a whole lot of action last night, but it's been a pretty productive trip. We actually got interviewed by a film crew, and I think that I think Kevin's going to probably do another different video on that and tell you about all that. But we both got interviewed, and that was kind of interesting, a kind of unique experience. But it's been a good trip. We got to leave and go home in the morning. And I guess with that, I'll turn it back over to Kevin.
All right. Well, you know, and that pretty much covers the whole thing. So, sorry about that. But yeah, it's been a good trip. You know, some of the twinkle lights that we've seen some of the biggest, brightest twinkle lights that I've ever seen since I've been out here. You know, so those were